traders? It's Johnny here with Trader X. Thank you guys so much for tuning on back into the channel. And today I wanted to go ahead and give you guys a brief recap of my trading today and let you guys know how I did. And so as you guys can see from the screen, unfortunately today was another red day. I was down $17.60 on TQQQ and down $5.55 on ticker symbol SQQQ. And so these were all my filled orders. I did take a lot of orders, as you guys can see, right? The timestamps here on the left, the quantity I was trading with. The ETF itself is here in the middle, and the price points are here on the right. But I'm going to go ahead and get right into today's recap. So pretty much what I wanted to go over today was, as usual, what led to me trading well and what I could improve on. And so a big reason I would say I ended red today was the market did have a lot of change of directions, and I feel like today I was really afraid of averaging up, right? And I wasn't as comfortable when I would initially get in with a 25% position size, averaging up with a 75% of my position size right after. I'm not too sure why, but today was just I was struggling to average up. So, for example, as you guys can see right at market open, we did see the market have a nice dip, right? And once it did dip, I decided to buy into TQQQ right around these areas, right? Because I saw potential for it to bounce and try to touch the top VWAP. But ultimately, what happened is this thing bounced, right? But before it did bounce, it continued to sell off. So I bought in around here, it continued to sell off. I did my part in cutting my losses, so I minimized them today. And as this thing broke above the EMA, I thought we were gonna get a change of direction, but ultimately it ended up flushing out again. And so I lost some more money there. But right around here, right? So right around 7:20 a.m. is when market really started to change direction. And once this thing was oversold enough, this thing started to break above the EMA, and then it started to use it to make higher highs and higher lows, right? And that's ultimately how I was able to start to make some of the money back that I did lose. And so, to give you guys a reference of why I thought the Nasdaq could have bounced here, if you look at it on a bigger time frame, right, like the past 10 days, what you guys will notice is that the Nasdaq will tend to dip, recover back to EMA, dip, recover back to EMA, right? Or in some cases, top view up. It'll dip, recover back up to top view up, dip, recover back up. It just took a nice dip today and this morning, right? And so I thought there was potential for it to start to recover. So once it did actually start to go ahead and change direction on the day, I started to focus on TQQQ, but because of all these little fake outs where it would break below EMA, I kind of started to get faked out and would get into the inverse ETF and lose money there, right? But ultimately what I should do better is realize that, it's no longer falling as easy as it was, right? Which could indicate it's gonna start changing directions. And like I mentioned, the Nasdaq has typically been falling and recovering, right? So after it had a nice fall, it was recovering on over. And I also do like to look at the inverse ETF, right? So as you guys can see, this thing does the exact opposite of what the Nasdaq does. And if you guys can see it on bigger time frames, right, what you'll notice is the same thing. It's more overextended right at these areas, and it'll tend to fall right around to support level areas right around this area, right? So that's ultimately why I decided to or why I saw potential in this thing pulling on back, and that's why I decided to focus on TQQQ, right? So as you guys can see, TQQ was a thing that soared today after it initially fell from lows to highs. It was up almost 8% on the day, so that's a huge margin if you were able to play it right. And as this thing would peak out, you sold out, it pulled on back. So if you kind of scalped it as you wrote it up, that could have been very effective today. But ultimately, yeah, what I need to do a better job of is not being afraid to average up, right? So when direction's in my favor, say this thing pulled on back and I bought back in with a quarter position. Once it broke above EMA, I could have averaged up and sold out at more overextended areas and continue to do that, right? So there's always something I need to work on to make sure I do better heading into tomorrow. Since tomorrow is the last day of the week, right? I am currently down on the week about, I would say, $230. So it definitely looks like I am gonna end red again, unfortunately. But we'll see how tomorrow goes. I just want to make sure if I do lose tomorrow that I make sure to minimize my loss and that I'm taking smart trades, right? But other than that, I hope you guys all ended green today and were able to have a beautiful and fantastic Thursday. And I will be posting a recap tomorrow, so if you guys tune into that, I will, be letting you guys know how I do tomorrow to finish off the week. But Other than that, if you guys are new to the channel, I really do appreciate it if you guys like and subscribe. It really helps us out, and we really do appreciate it. But that's everything I wanted to talk about. I hope you guys all have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's recap. Take care.